Welcome back to the Brothers Grimdark, everybody, and welcome to our Game 3 preview. So this Friday's game is going to see the Skaven Albino Garage Rats taking on Cameron and his Necromantic Horror Team, the Hilltoon Howlers. So just before I get into the preview of this game, I'm just going to have a little recap of our Game 2, which was an epic. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out now because I'm about to reveal some spoilers. Go check it out and then come back to this video for the preview of Game 3. So spoilers ahead in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so Game 2 was an absolute blockbuster of a game. So we had the vampire team being piloted by Greg, the Thurston Downers, facing off against Dean and his Norse team, the Longforgan Longboats. So this game did not start at all in the way that I thought it was going to. It didn't pan out at all in how I suspected it would. So I thought the key matchup was going to be Dean's linemen facing off against the comparatively vulnerable linemen on the vampire team with those thralls, armor 8 with no skills. I thought the block on the lineman was going to see them through. But the first or second turn of the game, can't quite remember which, we saw Dean and his Ulfurner get casualtied on a block dice against just a simple thrall lineman. He went down and was out for the rest of the game. That caused a turnover, went over to Greg's turn, and instantly that lineman went and caused another casualty, taking out a Norse lineman. So Dean went 2 players down right off the bat, was right up against it from the get-go. But he started off with the ball in the first half, and as sometimes happens when you lose a couple players, things can kind of snowball. Greg fully took advantage of that and kept pounding the pressure on, kept eliminating players on Dean's team, but he was able to get the ball into the end zone on his opening drive. I think he did it in 4 or 5 turns, can't quite remember which gave the Vampires a decent amount of time to respond in the first half. But after some incredible defensive plays from the Norse team, he was able to hold off the rest of the first half and keep that 1-0 advantage going into the second half. Now, Greg had a pretty good team talk though with his Vampires, the Thurston Downers at halftime, and they came out with the gates flying, answering back with 2 quick touchdowns, taking them to a considerable 2-1 lead against a severely depleted Norse team. I think they were down to 7 players and 2 of those were boars. So pretty much 5 players against I think it was a full vampire roster. Dean did cause 1 casualty at some point, but I think that was slightly later into the game. He was able to take out one of the thrall linemen eventually, but he went down to having 5 players casualty. So it was a big showing from the Vampires in that. But Dean, in the last drive of the game, got the ball almost to the end zone where he was tackled, taken down, but then he got up in his last turn, was able to push a vampire runner out the way, pick up the ball in a tackle zone, and then dodge out into the end zone, ending the game in a 2-2 tie. It was absolutely epic. Such as Blood Bowl's all about, it going right down to the last dice. It was such a fun game. Hope you enjoyed it as well, because we really did enjoy filming that one. This week's game though, coming this Friday, we have got, as I said, the Skaven facing off against the Necromantic Horror. So what I think the key matchups in this game are going to be, I think it's just going to be holding on to a couple important assets on each team. So the Necromantic Horror Team are kind of can do all, you've kind of got a player that can do a different job. They're sort of a toolkit sort of team. And because of that, you can build the roster in a few different ways. Now, Cameron went for the option of only having 2 real ball carriers in this team, and actually everyone else is bad or can't even pick up the ball at all. So he's just got his werewolf and his ghoul runner as his 2 ball carriers. On top of that, he's got his 2 golems, strength 4, good at holding the line. They're armor 10, they've got thick skull, and they are also stand firm, so they're very hard to shift. Then he's got his 2 wraiths, 2 very good players. They're the block players in this team, but they cannot pick up the ball. And then he's got 5 linemen who are agility 5+ unsteady, so really not very good ball carriers at all. So he's relying on these 2 to do the scoring in his team. which kind of makes them a little vulnerable. So if I was Adam, I'd be looking to take out those players as quickly as I could, sort of mob them, and then then you've got the real advantage as a Skaven player being able to outscore on touchdowns against your opponent. If you can just take out those two players, I think you'll be in a good position to advance in this matchup. However, on the other side, Skaven are not good in a fight. Adam does have his, what do you call it? Rat Ogre, which is sort of this big bit of punch there, but outside of that, he's got two Blitzers, which are good, really good players, but they don't really want to get into a scrap. They want to block players out of the way and use that movement 8 to harass ball carriers, combined with that strip ball makes them a really, really good blitzer against the ball carrier. But they've got an excellent thrower. He's got the Rat Ogre, as I said. He's got two blitzers. He's got two gutter runners who are fantastic scorers, as we all know. And then he's got 5 linemen. So neither of these teams have a bench. Both of them have 3 rerolls. So evenly matched there. But if I was to talk about the other side, if I was Cameron, I'd be looking to remove that Rat Ogre off the pitch, because then that gives him that physical advantage. He can then start to try and bully the Skaven a little bit, cause a bit more casualties, maybe create a snowball effect, and then really pen in the Skaven. I know they're very good at getting out of tight situations, especially with the gutter runners with that agility 2+, and dodge, and movement 9, but that is sort of the angle I would be thinking of taking if I was the Necromantic Horror in this matchup. I'd want to make sure that I could dominate the physical battle, because to take out all 4 of these players, the 2 blitzers and the gutter runners, who are all great scorers, that's a big feat. So Adam kind of has some redundancy in this Skaven team by having 4 players that are excellent scorers. So I would be going after the one sort of physical player that's likely to do the removal against me, and then I can hope to gain the physical advantage there. That would be my play. What do you guys think at home though? Do you think I've got this wrong? Do you think there's a different matchup that you would be looking to do against these teams? How would you play it? Please let me know in the comments. I'll give it a read and I'll reply to your comments as well. Hopefully we can have a little bit of a discussion going before this Friday's game. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'm going to sign off there. Come join us on Friday. I'm hoping this is going to be another epic. See you then.